This is the QL600 and AT5810 two-way central opening installation video for a straight track. If you are looking for the installation video with a 90 degree or a 135 degree bend, this is not the video for you. This video is for straight track only, and it is a two-way central opening. If you're looking for a one-way side-to-side opening, this also isn't a video for you. There is a separate video for all of those other types of installation. So for a two-way straight track, the first thing you probably want to do is to get the track joiner and join as many pieces as you want to increase or decrease the size of the track. Take the joiner, slot it in, get a screwdriver, make sure that the track has no gaps in between, and tighten the screw. Do not over tighten, it doesn't need to be super tight. Always check that it's completely flush against each other. Okay. You might need to remove the protective film. Next, what you want to do is to cut the belt. The first thing you need to do is to attach a belt clip to the end of your belt. Taking the belt, attach it to your belt clip. Make sure that there is no belt hanging out. For example, there's clearly some belt hanging out of the belt clip. We don't want that. This is how we want to attach the belt clip. Take the locking piece, and lock it together. You might need to use some pliers. Make sure it's super tight. Just push it in, and now it's fully secured. Next, what you want to do is to thread the belt all the way through the track. You might want to use a carrier piece to help you. Depending on the box set, you might have the newer style or the older style, it doesn't really matter. So using a carrier piece just help you push the belt all the way through the track. Just like that. Okay, and push it all the way through. You can now remove the carrier. And now what you want to do before you cut the belt is to make this belt clip completely flush against the track, just like that. So you don't want it to be inside the track, you don't want it to be hanging out of the track, it must be completely aligned with the track, okay? Keep checking that you haven't moved the belt before you cut. So once this side is fully aligned, we're gonna count 23 excess teeth. So always double check that it's still aligned. Sometimes you might move the belt a little bit and you might cut it wrong. So and always double check before you count and cut. So check that it is still aligned, that it's fully flush with the track. If it is, proceed to counting. Now count carefully to 23 teeth. Cut after the 23rd teeth. Next, you want to repeat the same process, but this time you want to go in the opposite direction. So again, now in the opposite direction, take your belt, attach a belt clip, just like that. Make sure there's no belt poking out of the belt clip. lock it in, press firmly together until you hear a click. Sometimes if it doesn't fully go inside the belt clip, you might just need to use some pliers to fully put them together. So just like that. So now using a pair of pliers, now they're fully together. The belt clip most likely will be right against the edge of the track. Just remove it from the track, otherwise we can't thread the new one through the track. So now, taking a carrier piece again, this time in the opposite side, thread it through. All the way. And we're going to repeat. Okay, so now we're going to repeat again. We're going to make sure that the belt clip is flush against the edge of the track. Double check that it is still flush against the edge of the track before we count. Once you've checked, count 23 excess teeth and you will cut after the 23rd teeth. Now we are ready to put the carrier pieces in. Depending on the different versions, you might have the new style carrier or the old style carrier. With the old style carrier, it doesn't really matter which direction, you just need to put it through. With the new style carrier, at this stage, you want to make sure that the wheels is pointing towards the track and the straight edge is pointing away from the track. So attach the carrier piece to the belt clip, just like that, and just slot it through. Okay, just put it into the track. Repeat onto the other side. So get the belt clip out. Get the carrier piece. The wheels pointing towards the track, the straight edge pointing away from the track. Attach it to the belt clip and push it through the track, just like that. Next, we want to attach the gearbox. So it doesn't matter which gearbox you use. You can actually remove the cover and swap them around later on if you do want to change the position of the motor. So right now it doesn't really matter which one you use. So just thread the belt through the gearbox. Attach a belt clip. Okay, just like that. And now taking another carrier piece, this time the wheels should be facing away from the track and the straight edge should be facing towards the track. Okay. And you should be able to connect them together just like that. Using the connecting piece, you can put them together. Now repeat on the other side. Take the other gearbox. Thread the belt through, attach a belt clip, just like that. Lock it in. Take the remaining carrier piece. The wheels should be facing away from the track and the straight edge facing towards the track. Okay. Make sure that the gearbox is fully attached inside, just like that. Now, it is very important when you're trying to put the mounting plates and there is clearly a gap between them and you can't seem to put them together and you have to force it really hard to push the mounting plate in, that means that your belt has been cut too short. There is a separate video to show you how you can resolve the issue. It can be resolved, so you don't need a brand new belt. You can resolve it. So watch that video before you continue this installation. Connect the carrier pieces together, just like that. Don't worry if it's a little bit stiff at the moment. What you can do is do tension adjustment to get the optimal smoothness and the optimal tension in the track, so you can adjust the belt tension later. You want to get the overlapping arms, place it onto the carrier using the screw. It goes through the overlapping arm, through the carrier, and out onto the other side. With the locking plate, tighten the screws. Repeat on the other side, but this time with the other overlapping arm, it should be going in the other direction. Now, you don't want to place it like this so that they collide. That's not how you want it to be set up. You want it so that they are in opposite sides, so that they overlap each other. You also want to make sure that there's sufficient gap. So for example, if you place this on the other side, there's not really that much gap for the curtains to go past each other. So sometimes you want to just increase the gap between them and move it to the other side. So you can change this, you can play around with this setting depending on your need and your curtains. So if your curtains are very thin, this setup will be okay. If your curtains are a little bit thicker, for example like blackouts, then you probably want to increase the distance between them. Taking the screws, go through the overlapping arm first, through the carrier, and lock into place. And now your track has been set up. You can now add as many runners on each side as you need. So take the runners, on the other side, you'll notice that the cover is in the way. So you can easily just detach the cover and repeat. Loosen the tensioner. You don't need to detach it, you just need to loosen it. Make sure you don't loosen the screw too much where it goes beyond this part. So you don't want to loosen it too much. Make sure you don't loosen it where this exceeds too far out. Slide them through the slots sideways. Okay. And before you lock in, repeat on the other side. Okay. Okay. You can now test the track. If your track doesn't feel smooth or is still very, very stiff, you simply need to adjust the belt tension. There is a separate video to guide you through that step.